In the old South Africa, when I grew up, all white males under the age of 25 had to register for compulsory military service in the year in which they turned 16. So at school, every year it was announced all boys turning 16 that year had to go to the principal's office. We had to fill in some forms. They were sent to the defense department, and a couple of weeks later we'd receive this postcard in the mail, and the postcard would contain our service number, which you would retain for the rest of your life. So, if you wanted to, you could first complete your school studies, and if you applied for exemption, you could also complete most of the time quite a lengthy university, technicum, or college education. But sooner or later you had to show up for 2 years of quite hard and rigorous military training. A lot of boys were sent to the border regions and even were involved in cross-border operations and sometimes some intense conflict situations. We were only allowed to drive, to purchase alcohol, and to own firearms at the age of 18. But from 17 already, you could join the military, and you would be trained to operate a machine gun, heavy-duty military vehicles sometimes, and be given the power to decide between taking life or saving life. And so you have to remember that this was during the time of the Cold War, and the South African border war was very much a function of the broader Cold War. It was just one of the associated chapters of what was going on in the conflict between East and West. So some weeks after that, we received this little booklet in the mail. It was quite comprehensive, and it would explain the purpose of national service and also what would lie ahead for us and what to expect and how to prepare for your first intake. It gives us a little bit of an explanation. It says why national service and why the system. This is interesting. It says the Republic of South Africa is engaged in a war in which the enemy onslaught is occurring on a total front, and that was true. This means that there is not only a military front, but also a political front, an economic front, and a psychological offensive against the will of the peoples of the Republic of South Africa to offer resistance. The answer to such an onslaught lies in total resistance or defense, and the national service system provides the best answer. And so very quickly, in the span of 2 years, men were turned, or rather boys were turned into men, and they made some of the world's best soldiers. National servicemen were expected to remain available for call-ups, more or less a period of 90 days of service per year until the age of 55. Right towards the end, they had to join the local commando system, which was a kind of a very effective citizens force, home guard kind of operation. And the result of this was that we basically trained most of the white male population of South Africa to be reserve soldiers. And so in case of large-scale warfare, South Africa was able to call up at very short notice a very large army of very well-trained men. So there was a lot of sense and strategy involved, and this is part of our history that almost nobody talks about anymore. It's poorly understood, but now you know how it starts. Most of what's written about the border war time is involving the combat situations and so on, but everybody forgets to tell how the whole thing started. Now you know.